y'all, let me take my mask off. I'm sure you're tired of wearing a mask as well, but it's just something we have to do these days. My name is Allison Walker, and I'm the 4-H agent here in Randolph County. 4-H is a program for ages 5 to 18. There is something for everybody in 4-H. We have community clubs, we have summer programs, we have special interest programs, and we have school enrichment. This is what school enrichment would look like. Typically, I would come into your classroom and do programs for you guys, but with the pandemic, we are doing virtual programs. So I hope that you will enjoy this program. We are going to start the Farm to Table program today. There are several lessons, and you'll get to learn all about agriculture and how it impacts your everyday life. So let's get started. We live in Randolph County. Now, Randolph County is one of 100 counties in North Carolina. Randolph County is very diverse in the types of agriculture that we have. We have cows, we have chickens, we have lots of row crops, we have vegetables. So actually, Randolph County is number 1 in beef cattle, number 2 in dairy cattle, and number 2 in all cattle in the state of North Carolina. We are number 6 in broilers and number 8 in layers. A broiler chicken is a chicken that we use for meat. A layer chicken is a chicken that we use the eggs, and that's where the eggs in the grocery store come from. Like I said, Randolph County is very diverse in the types of agriculture that we have. We have a coloring sheet, and I will send this to your teacher and they can share with you, and you can color the sheet however you want to. You can read all of the different facts, but other crops that Randolph County grows, we have tomatoes, we have vegetables, we have wheat, and we have corn, tobacco, soybeans. These products are used in many different ways, and they impact your life every single day. So let's talk about these impacts from agriculture in your life. I hope by now you've either had breakfast or lunch, depending on when you're watching this video. But think about what was on your plate. How many agriculture products came or created that meal that you ate? Today for lunch, I had sausage pizza. So the crust was made from wheat, the sauce came from tomatoes, the sausage came from a pig, and then the cheese came from dairy cows. So how many products was that? We had the wheat, we had the tomatoes, we had sausage from pigs, and then we had the cheese. So that's 4 different ag products that made my lunch. So take a minute and think about what you had for lunch today and how many agriculture products created your lunch. So now it's time for our farm to table activity for this first lesson. Typically in a classroom, I would pick 6 different farmers, and everybody would get to come up and put on their farmer hat. And then the rest of the classroom would get to draw cards from my bag, and we play a game of matching. So we will match the card with the agriculture product that goes with the farm that it would have come from. So we have 6 different farmers here. We have an apple farmer, a row crop farmer, a dairy farmer, an egg and poultry farmer, a livestock farmer, and a vegetable farmer. So I'm going to reach into this bag. I'm going to pull something out. The first thing is corn. So, have you ever seen corn growing as you've been driving somewhere in the county or anywhere? Corn grows in most places. So corn grows in really long rows in big fields. So we use corn for human food. We also use it for animal feed. Lots of our livestock eat corn as one of their main parts in their diet. So let's say this corn comes from a row crop farm. So we will give this to the row crop farmer. Now reach in the bag again. This is a chicken. So which farm did the chicken come from? Poultry is another word for birds, such as chickens or turkeys. So this chicken comes from the poultry farmer. Like I said earlier in the video, we have two types of chickens. We have broiler chickens and layer chickens. Again, the broiler chickens are chickens that we use the meat for, and layer chickens, we get the eggs from them. So we'll put this with the poultry farmer. Reach back into the bag here. And I pulled out milk. So what kind of farm does milk come from? Milk comes from a dairy farm. So we have several dairy farms in Randolph County. They work very hard every single day to produce the milk that you get in the grocery stores. Dairy farmers have to milk their cows 2 to 3 times a day. It doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees outside or if there's snow on the ground. The cows have to be milked every single day. So the milk came from a dairy farm. So we'll put that with a dairy farmer. I'm going to reach back into the bag here. What is this? This is a bushel basket of apples. So a bushel basket is used to harvest vegetables and produce. So an apple farm is called an orchard. So we actually have an apple orchard in Randolph County in Ramsar. So these apples are picked by hand because think about an apple. If you mash it, it can have a bruise or a blemish. So there's not a machine that can harvest the apples, so the apples are hand picked. So this came from an apple farm or an orchard. I'm going to reach back into the bag here. And I pulled out this. What is this? This is a pumpkin. So pumpkins are used for a lot of different things. In the fall, they're carved up for Halloween. You might go to a pumpkin farm and pick pumpkins. So a pumpkin is also a vegetable. You might eat pumpkin pie. Animals can also eat pumpkins. They provide good nutrients to their diet. So in this case, we are going to say the pumpkin came from a vegetable farm. All right, let's see what else we can pull out of the bag. What is this? This is yellow. This is butter. So where does butter come from? What kind of animal gives a product that we use to make butter? That would be a dairy cow. We'll have another lesson all about dairy cows and talk about how butter is made. But butter comes from cows. So that goes to the dairy farm. What is this? This is a sheep. So sheep are used for wool. We use that to make clothes. And we can also use the meat from sheep. Have lamb chops or something like that. So the sheep comes from a livestock farm. So we'll give it to the livestock farmer. What is this? This is a little bit harder to see, but this is something that is used to make pizza and bread. Think about it. What is this? This is wheat. So wheat grows in big fields, usually in rows. So we'll give this to the row crop farmer. What is this? This is a cow. So depending on the type of cow, it could come from 2 different farms. We have our dairy cows. We've already talked about them briefly, but we also have beef cows. So beef cows give us meat, our hamburgers, our steaks, all that yummy goodness. So for today, let's say that this is a beef cow and it comes from a livestock farm. We have a few more in the bag here. Let's see. What are these? These are eggs. So eggs come from chickens. And do you remember the type of chicken that we would get the eggs from? That's right, layer chickens. So these came from the egg and poultry farm. What is this? This is something we typically don't see in Randolph County, but this is peanuts. Peanuts are grown typically in the northeastern part of the state, and even in Virginia, there's a lot of peanut farmers. Bertie County, North Carolina is known for their peanuts. But peanuts, they grow in rows as well. So this comes from a row crop farm. All right, we have a couple more in the bag here. What are these? These are green beans. So green beans are one of my favorite vegetables. I love fresh green beans and corn. They're good for you. So green beans are a vegetable. So they come from the vegetable farmer. All right, I think we have one more left in our bag. And that's a pig. So a pig, think of all the products that we get from pigs. We get sausage and bacon, and one of my favorite breakfast foods, you probably never even heard of it. You might have tried it, but it's liver mush. That's one of my favorite things to eat for breakfast. So the pig comes from the livestock farm. So we'll put that there. And I will post the coloring sheet with the Randolph County Ag Facts, as well as the lunch plate, and you can draw what you had for lunch and write out all of the ag products that created your lunch or whatever meal it was that you enjoyed. So thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. We'll see you next week. Have a good week.